Y ellos son parte de esto, así que nada, un fuerte abrazo a toda la familia de acá de Argentina.
Why you always talking? Why you always running your mouth?
So Brian Carlos Castaño has finally arrived. He has finally entered the building. He is the new junior middleweight WBO champion, and he beat Patrick Teixeira from pillar to post. It was a dominant performance by Brian Carlos Castaño, and he was the favorite to win, and he did just that. He won. He looked very impressive in doing so, and his style, I think it's a lot to deal with for a lot of guys. And I've been paying attention to this guy ever since he gave my boy Lara a tough fight. You know, he's a guy that's not really, popular. He's not really too popular. You don't see too much of Brian Carlos, but when he gave my boy Lara that tough night, I'm like, man, this dude is tough, man. I don't even know if my boy Lara even deserved to get that draw. And I'm a big Lara fan. That's one of my guys. And I questioned if he deserved to get that draw that night. You know what I'm saying? Brian Carlos Castaño showed us, definitely deserves to be at the top. He definitely shows that he deserves to be at the top. And if Patrick Teixeira, if anything, showed that he has world-class toughness. Because I think if anybody lesser than a world-class fighter would have been out of there with the way that Brian Carlos Castaño was putting out. Very impressive performance, and his style looked like he can give a lot of guys trouble. And a lot of fighters today, a lot of the taller guys don't seem to know how to fight these smaller guys. But see, the smaller guys know how to fight the taller guys. And a guy like Brian Carlos Castaño, who has that relentless pressure style, good accuracy, good punch placement, good speed, good agility, just overall good IQ, he's a very underrated fighter. His biggest drawback may be his dimensions as a person. He's a shorter limb guy, short guy, 5'7.5", 67.5 inch reach. So he's a shorter man. However, he knows how to fight small. And a lot of these guys, they really don't know how to fight tall, and they don't know how to fight smaller fighters. So he's going to give a lot of these dudes trouble with his in and outs, his speed. He was impressive. And very impressive pressure. Like, he's just nonstop. Just nonstop. It'll be interesting to see how he matches up against Jermell Charlo. That's what we're going to talk about. Jermell Charlo and Brian Carlos Castaño. I think that's a very good fight. And I think it's a lot more interesting than a lot of people are going to be thinking once we start really hearing that fight get some traction. Because most people off the bat is going to say Jermell's going to knock this guy out. However, Brian Carlos Castaño isn't just some any guy from Argentina. He's been around, got a lot of amateur fights, beat guys like Drevianchenko. You know what I'm saying? He beat Errol Spence in the amateurs. So he been in there with some guys. He has some world-class experience. He has some world-class amateur experience. I mean, the dude is for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm impressed, and I'm happy for him that he got the job done. I would like to see what he does in the future. Jermell Charlo and him, that's a pretty big fight. I'm not saying that he'll beat Jermell Charlo, because I do think Jermell Charlo is that dude. I think he deserves to be on the pound-for-pound list. You know what I'm saying? But styles make fights, people. And if we notice anything, that Jermell Charlo is still trying to master Derrick James' style. His Derrick James' style is effective once mastered. And Errol Spence Jr. mastered that style. And to his benefit, he's a southpaw, so that makes that style that much more dangerous, especially when they're going up against smaller men. You know what I'm saying? But Jermell Charlo hasn't yet mastered that style. Not to say he couldn't get the job done against a guy like Brian Carlos Castaño, but it'll be a very interesting fight. Can't wait to see it. Hope it goes down. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.